Hi, I'm Stephanie Laska. I lost 140 pounds and created Dirty Lazy Keto. Thanks for joining me here on the YouTube channel. Be sure to subscribe and enjoy the show. Today, in my Dirty Lazy Keto kitchen, we're going to be cooking some of my favorite recipes from the new 5-ingredient cookbook, where every recipe can be made with how many? Put it in the comments. How many ingredients? 5 main ingredients or less is the correct answer. Now, once you've read the book, you'll understand that sometimes recipes call for more than 5, but that's because they call for a pantry staple. And a pantry staple is something you already have at home, so it doesn't count, like salt or pepper. Those don't count, people, okay? So I show what those are in the beginning of the book, but all the recipes are made with only 5 main ingredients. So hopefully you have your copy today. We're going to be making 2 different recipes. One of them is called Wing It. Isn't that fun? Just wing it. I try to make really silly recipe names, which I'm sure you're used to by now. All the cookbooks have really ridiculous, fun names because I don't think losing weight should be so complicated or boring or expensive or putting you to sleep. I want you to have a good time. So this recipe is actually on page 89. I wrote really big in Sharpie so I could see it without my glasses. So it's on page 89 of the cookbook if you want to follow along. And the reason why I wanted to practice with you guys today and make a couple of these recipes is next week on Tuesday, I'm going to be cooking live on CBS Good Day Sacramento. Again, I know, it's my second time. I must not have messed up too bad last time because they invited me back. And so these are the 2 recipes I have to cook live in front of a live audience, not studio, live. Did you hear me live? So I can't mess up. So I need to practice to make sure I don't forget anything or jibber jabber too much or drop a chicken. That happens. It may have happened last time. I don't know. So you'll have to tune in. I'll make sure to provide the link to you guys later. But that'll be on Tuesday for Good Day Sacramento on CBS. Maybe I'll even be a regular guest. You never know. So let's get started, guys. Ready? Okay. So first things first, we're going to need to turn on the oven, okay? So I've got my oven right here behind me, and you're going to preheat your oven to 375 degrees, okay? 375. I'm pretending, okay? I'm pretending. So did you press 375 at home? Get your oven all nice and preheated. Next, you're going to get yourself a little glass bowl or a medium-sized bowl, and we're going to start adding our ingredients because we're going to make some chicken wings. Wing it. Just wing it. It doesn't have to be perfect. The first thing you need is going to be 2 beaten eggs. See how they're already beaten? I like to get all my stuff out ahead of time when I cook. That way it goes faster. I recommend you do the same thing at home. You don't need these fancy little bowls from the dollar store. But you can just get out all your ingredients. I feel like that's a nice little shortcut to help you from skedaddling all over the kitchen and make, cooking a little bit faster. So 2 beaten eggs, pour those into your bowl. Next up, we're going to do a 1/4 cup of heavy whipping cream. 1/4 cup. Now, the reason why we're doing the heavy whipping cream is when you make wings or any kind of fried food on Dirty Lazy Keto, you need like a glue, okay? I know, that's not very appetizing, but the cream makes things a little bit gluier. And that isn't a very official cooking term, by the way, gluier. And in case you're not familiar with what heavy whipping cream looks like, I'm going to show you. It's a staple in a lot of recipes with the ketogenic lifestyle because it's so high in fat and low in lactose. No, you cannot substitute regular milk. You can't, because milk is high in lactose as the carbohydrate source, and it's subsequently very high in carbs. But if you use heavy whipping cream, it's not the case. It's much, much lower. Now, you don't want to be drinking this. It's super high in calories as well. Not that we count that, but you get what I'm saying. Use it in moderation. Use it in your recipes. Now we're going to start stirring this up with a little fork. And we're going to add some salt and pepper. Okay, I already put it in my little cup here just to be super fast. This is a 1/4 teaspoon salt and 1/8 of a teaspoon black pepper. Now, if you want, you can hold off on this. You don't have to do it right now. You can wait and kind of see and season and taste test and whatnot. So that's okay. You can do that. Also, I call in the recipe 1/8 teaspoon chili powder. Now, again, I realize that's kind of hot. Some of you might be like, I can't handle the heat. But you know what? Try it just a little bit. It's only 1/8 of a teaspoon, and it's going to be spread out over a pound of wings. So give it a try. Come on, live a little. I think that once you start eating lower carb foods, at least for me in my experience, losing 140 pounds, I became much more willing to try new things and new flavors. And I felt like my taste buds weren't so coated in Jolly Ranchers, right? So I was more willing to like taste things, new flavors, fresh herbs, all sorts of things like that. So I recommend that you try, even though in the past you might have been like, not for me. Give it a try now. You might change your mind and be very surprised. So this recipe calls for a pound of chicken wings. I'm going to show you what that kind of looks like when you go to the store. If you haven't bought chicken wings in the past, which I'll be honest, this was new for me when I was losing weight. I was like, what is a chicken wing? I had no idea. The first time I bought them, I bought the kind that weren't cleaned yet. Oh, do not do that. Where you had to get out scissors and like cut through joints and tips. No, spend a little more and get the ones already done for you, okay? This is an example of when you should spend a little bit more money. Don't be cutting wings by yourself. That is not fun and it's a lot of work. It's kind of like cleaning shrimp. No one does that. Don't do that. Pay a little bit more and get the stuff already done for you. So a pound of chicken wings. I already have some out of the package here, but just to show you what it looks like, I wanted to give you tips for when you were shopping. A pound of chicken wings is probably like, I weighed these earlier, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, probably like 7 wings, okay? So I'm gonna hold these up for you. Here's a little tip when you are making fried food of any kind on Dirty Lazy Keto. If you let your chicken or fish or whatever it is that you're frying, let it sit out a little bit, like maybe like 30 minutes, so it gets nice and dry. Seriously, nice and dry. Yes, you can wash it, clean it, do whatever, but let it dry. And I even get out some paper towels and pat it dry. I lay it on paper towels, I pat it with paper towels, throw those all away. The drier your chicken, the more likely the coating will be to stick. Because you work so hard to get it nice and crispy and delicious, and you don't want that all to fall off during the baking process, right? This is true. I also like to wear food, I don't know if these are food grade. It's like the people at the sandwich store, right at Subway, they wear these. I buy these at a restaurant supply store by like the thousands because I don't want to touch creepy chicken and then get at my nails and then touch things. No, thank you. So I wear these when I'm handling raw meat. I just feel like cleanup is a little bit easier and it reduces the creepy factor, which is huge, right? You don't want like touching raw chicken to be the thing that stops you from trying to cook. And I understand that because I felt that way too. I don't like touching raw fish, raw food. It's just like, and I'm a cookbook writer, so I get it. So these are nice and dry. And I got my little bath going here, right? My spicy bath, the glue. And now we're gonna need to have something to roll it in. So after we get our chicken wet in the bath, now we're gonna need to get it nice and crispy with like a French fried coating. Now there's a lot of different things you can do. Yes, you can use like Parmesan, you can use nuts. What else could you use? Put it in the comments. What do you use to fry, quote unquote, your food on DLK? Remember, the more people that comment and participate, I'll pick a winner for a custom red DLK apron. So keep typing. Keep contributing. So tell me what you use to fry your food. Today we're going to be using pork rinds. Now this is a simple, economical, fun, crunchy way to get that nice, crispy, golden hue to your fried wings or any other type of fried food. And you know what's fun about pork rinds is they come in different flavors. This is chili lime, but here I have an original flavor, so you could use that. Or, ooh, look at this one, hot. I can't even pronounce it. Maybe you can help me. It's some kind of hot sauce. My husband's gonna love these. He loves hot and spicy food. But these come in all different types of flavors. Just do me a favor before you decide on one. Flip it over, look at the back of the package, and just check the ingredient list and make sure there's nothing in there that doesn't make you feel uncomfortable. Because we all know if it's like delicious barbecue flavored or something like that, it might have sugar. And I'm guessing you're trying to avoid that, right? So just take a look. You don't have to be all crazy. Pork rinds in general are going to have probably 0 carbs unless they're adding a bunch of weird stuff. So I checked all 3 of my packages here. Alexa's participating in the conversation. That was funny. All of my examples here are 0 grams per serving. So that's a relief, right? We don't want to be caught slipping. No. So we're going to need 2 ounces of ground pork rinds for our recipe today. Now there's a lot of ways you can grind your pork rinds. Here they are in my bag. You can put them through the food processor. You could use a rolling pin. I don't know. How do you do it? Tell me your secret. Personally, I'm very lazy and I hate my food processor. I think it's a nightmare to clean. It's really heavy. I can't stand it. So I try to avoid using it at all times. I use the simpler method, which is the smushing. It's a very important technical term. This is what you do. You smush. Now putting it back in the chip bag is key because it's a nice hearty thick bag. See that? Yeah. Another thing you can do is hit the bag. So what I mean by that is just take your frying pan. Is it clean? And put it on the counter. Okay? Put your bags there. Make sure you kind of got a handle on the edge so it doesn't go flying chip dust everywhere and make a big mess. But just, I know, right? It's hysterical. That is the smushing technique. So that's what I do. A combination of the pan hitting and the crunch, crunch, crunch. And that's it. Now you're good to go. You've got your coating and you've got your back. This is exciting, right? You are excited, I can tell. Are you excited? Tell me in the comments. I want to know. Are you engaged and looking forward to a little fun snack today? Here are my pork rinds that I already pre-smushed and pre-crunched. Now, ideally, you want to get these as small and as fine as possible. But for me, the risk of getting out the big, messy food processor, I don't want to do it. So I'm okay if there's a little bit of chunkiness in there. I don't have to be perfect. We don't have to be perfect to be successful. Just get her done. Okay, let's lazy keto. Lazy. Stephanie's lazy. So I pre-measure these. These are 2 ounces worth of ground pork rinds. And we're ready to start. Okay. Move things around a little bit. So what I'm going to do is take a chicken wing. I'm going to put it in the bath, flip it, smack it up. And then I'm going to roll it in my pork rinds. Now, when I'm on TV next week on CBS, I have to do this in 3 minutes. There'll be no jibber jabber. I'll be very, very fast. But here we go. I like to put it in a big pan with some edges. That way, you know, stuff doesn't go flying all over the kitchen, for 1. And for 2, having a little space allows the wetness to kind of distribute so you don't get all gummy and disgusting. Because the more wet chicken that goes in there, it's going to start getting clumpy and gross. And you don't want that. You want crispy and fabulous. So give yourself some room to work so it doesn't get all wet and gooey all at once. Okay? And I also like to use 2 hands, 1 for wet, 1 for dry. That's very complicated. I'm probably going to mess it up, but that's my plan. Okay. Wet. Try to hold it up so you can see. Wet, wet, wet. Spin it, smack it, flip it. Kind of shake it off. Or drip dry or drip drip. Okay. Drip, drip, drip. Drip, drip. And then stick it in your crunchy mixture here. Now push on it. Can you hear the crunch? It reminds me of Rice Krispie treats. Can you hear the crunch? Push on it so it gets all up in it. Flip it. Spread it around. Get as much crispiness on there because that's the part that tastes so yummy, right? I'll show you what it looks like. I did good. Yeah. So then put it on your lined baking tray and then repeat. So just keep going. Get it wet. Get it crunchy. What's great about chicken wings is they are the best party food in the whole wide world. If you show up to any kind of social gathering with foods like chicken wings or deviled eggs, people love you and then they invite you back. Why? Because they're kind of labor intensive. So it's a special treat, right? And they're delicious. And they're easy to eat, just pop in your mouth. They're already serving sized out. It's just kind of fun and easy to eat. Meatballs are another one. Put those in a little muffin tin, you know, those disposable paper tinny things. I want to show you what a good job I'm doing. I want credit. Oh, see that? It's good, right? A lot of stuff crunching on there. And you can just keep jabbing it until it gets nice and coated the way you like. Now, once you get a good coating on your chicken wing, don't mess with it. That's where people go wrong, is they touch it and move it and bib. No, get it in position. Put it on your parchment lined or non-stick cooking lined baking platter. That's going to go in your oven, and don't mess with it. Like, leave it alone. Okay, you are going to have to probably flip it halfway through. I recommend that you cook it, I'd say 375 for about 45 minutes, depending on the size of your drumettes or florets. Sometimes they're like super roided out. That's another cooking term. Have you ever noticed that, like, I don't know if you buy your wings at Costco, the size of them is so different from if you buy them at like a discount grocery store, for example. So the cooking time could vary. So put a clock on it and watch it. I like to do 375, again, probably about 45 minutes to 60 minutes, depending on the size of your chicken wings. So keep a close eye on them. Promise? You don't want to burn them because there's so much work. Here we go. I'm doing pretty good. Now, mind you, my gloves are turning into a disaster. Look. So if I was feeling really important and fabulous and wanting to do a good job, which I am, I'll don some new gloves. Because remember, I told you I buy 1,000 pack. It's easy. So just get another one. And chicken wings are 0 carb. Did I mention that? You're like, ooh, you should have started with that. Chicken, great source of protein. And they're also high in fat because they have all that chicken skin. Okay? But low in what? What is it low in? So high in fat, high in protein, but low in... Anyone? What's the answer? Yes, net carbs, low in net carbs. And that is what we are trying to accomplish with Dirty Lazy Keto, is reducing our carb count. Think of it as your carbon footprint. You want to reduce your net carbs all day long while still getting the nutrition that you need. And the point isn't to punish yourself. The foods are amazing. Hello. You can eat olives, avocados. You can eat terrific desserts made with sugar-free sweeteners, cookies. Hello. You can have wonderful vegetables like broccoli with cheese, or steak, or grilled salmon with butter, asparagus. Hello, wonderful foods. I want to show you, I'm doing a great job. Okay. Are you doing good too? Are you making these at home? All right. So I'm going to put my whatever batter's left over. I'm going to set that aside in the sink. And then here in my big tray, I still have a couple globules of deliciousness that I don't want to waste. So I'm going to just scoop that out with my hand. Don't be wasting this. This is good stuff. All your crunches and your cracklings. And I'm going to just squish it right on top of my chicken wings. And again, a pound of chicken wings is probably like 2, 4, 6, probably like 8 wings. And this recipe serves 2 people. So a serving of chicken wings by this recipe is 4 wings. And this is considered a snack. I have it in the cookbook listed as a snack. So obviously if you're going to eat this as a meal, that'd be different. And it's 0 net carbs per serving. Amazing. Okay. We did good. Give yourself a round of applause. That didn't take very long, did it? I'm going to hold it up so you can see. So I got my chickens, my little chickens. They're all spread out nicely on my parchment lined, or in this case, I have one of those reusable thingy-doos that lay down in the baking tray. And now it's ready to go in the oven. Do you remember how long to cook it? Who was paying attention? Put it in the comments as I get my tasty beverage. That is correct. 45 minutes approximately, 45 minutes to an hour, depending on the size of your chicken wings. So mine are ready to go. Delicious, right? Now, we talked earlier about the salt and pepper. You can put it in the recipe earlier. I like salty food, so I'd be fine with that. But some people, you know, depending on the type of pork rinds you bought, they might already have some added salt. So that's something to think about. You can always put the salt on later to taste. That's okay too. No one's pressuring you. There's no pressure. Or you don't have to put it at all. Whatever you choose. It's up to you. Capiche? Now, by the magic of television, we're going to pretend to put this in the oven, right? Dun, da, da, da. It's going in the oven. Magic of television. I'm going to show you what the finished product looks like. Here we go. Can I get a drum roll, please? Oh, thank you. There was a drum roll. Drum roll. Wait for it. Wait for it. And ta-da! Here it is. Look at that. Delicious, right? So these are very crispy. They look just like they're fried in deep fried oil, but they're not. These were baked in your oven and made extra crunchy using the simple coating of pork rinds. Are you excited? Can I get a thumbs up for these delicious snack? And that'll keep you full, won't it? It's the fat and the salt. I think it's just outstanding. And the protein, you'll be like, I'm good. I don't need anything else to eat. Now, notice my daughter decorated this with a little broccoli. Throw in the vegetables, people. Don't be shy. Get a little dipping sauce if you'd like. Sugar-free barbecue sauce, maybe. Sugar or no sugar added ketchup would be good. Or ranch dressing or blue cheese. Those would all be wonderful dipping sauces. Or in the cookbook, I talk about a pickled ranch dressing. Right? So you'll have to check that out in the cookbook. Are you ready for recipe number 2? The recipe that we are going to make is called No Skill Scramble. No Skill Scramble. And the reason I call it No Skill Scramble is because, can you guess how much skill you need to make it? None. None skill, no skill. And I kind of make a joke in the cookbook about what's the difference between like scrambled eggs and a scramble and an omelet. In my opinion, it's just how pretty you want the dish to look. Okay? An omelet, there's a lot of pressure. You got to flip it, you got to pour it, you got to make the shell and the insides, and then it can't fall apart, right? Omelets are pressure. Scramble, lazy. Scramble is lazy. And so I'm all about scrambling, laziness, cut corners, do things fast. And that's why I wanted to put together the 5-ingredient cookbook, because it teaches you different ways that you can cook in a hurry, but still get amazing flavors. That's key, right? Because you don't want to feel deprived or sad or like, wah, I'm missing out on all my favorites. No, we don't want that. So in this recipe, and I'll show you, it is located here in this cookbook, and it's located on page 51, okay? It's called the No Skill Scramble. And this recipe has 2 grams of net carbs per serving, and it's going to serve 2 people. Let's get started. My watch is telling me that we should be done by now. No, I talk too much. There's lots of talking. I'm not going to be done. I got more to say. So the first thing we're going to do is take a medium-sized skillet. We're going to heat it over like medium heat. So that's like a number 5, just medium heat. And you are going to fry up for 10 minutes some loose pork chorizo. So that means it's not in a casing. It's not like in a sausage. It's just like in a tube like this. Now, if you don't like pork chorizo, here's an alternative for you that I love. Soy chorizo. And chorizo is something I find in the deli section of my grocery store, and it's super inexpensive and affordable. Depending on where I shop, These are $1 or $1.50 a tube. I know. And this makes a full cup of chorizo, which is all you need for the recipe. So you've probably never seen this before. I don't know. Have you? You don't have to make it from scratch. Cut corners, people. Take shortcuts and cooking becomes a lot more fun. Lazy keto. Again, to all those people who want to try to win an apron, just keep typing in the comments. Type, 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 type. And I'll pick some lovely person at random to win one of these cutesy aprons. So get your pork of choice, pork chorizo or soy chorizo of choice. Just choose one though, not both. Choose one. And you're going to throw it in your frying pan, okay? You just kind of cut the tube and then goes all right in there, okay? And then over medium heat, you're going to fry it up. Pretend. And pretty soon, I'm going to show you what it looks like after it's already cooked. It's going to look like this. See that? So you can see here that, I know it's like not very effective to do it that way, but good for the interest of time. Wouldn't you agree? So you're going to saute your chorizo in your pan for about 10 minutes. And I can kind of makeshift this so we get some of the excitement and fun out of it. I don't want you to feel left out, like I'm cutting too many corners. All right. Put it in the refrigerator again with a sticky that said, don't eat it. Because my family was all wondering, that smells so good. All right, I'm going to go over here and put this on medium heat and reheat it. There it is. And then after you've cooked your pork for about 10 minutes, you're going to start adding the remaining ingredients. And one of them is going to be a 1/4 cup of finely chopped red onion. Now the reason, you can call this a purple onion, you can call it a red onion, whatever you want. But the reason why I choose red onion in a lot of my recipes over a white or a yellow onion, does anyone know? Type it in the comments. Or maybe you can just guess. I mean, yes, they're fun and pretty and flavorful. But maybe you know the answer, I don't know. I often choose green onions. You'll notice that as well. Did anyone kind of guess? But onions have different amounts of net carbs. It's true. Do you know what the lowest amount of net carbs for an onion is? Which one? I know lots of comments coming in now. I choose the green onion when I'm looking for the lowest or least amount of net carbs. So keep that in mind. Now, I don't want you to say, onions aren't keto. Onions aren't keto. People say that. And I'm all, really? Hello? Did I become overweight from eating an onion? Even if it was white or yellow or purple or red or green? No, I did not. I became overweight from eating chips and cookies and popcorn and snacks. Not an onion. So having a little bit of onion, I don't think it's that big of a deal. This is, again, dirty, lazy keto, people. So you're going to be adding a 1/4 cup finely chopped onion to your chorizo, which is already cooked, right? I'm just kind of reheating this because I cooked it last night. Breaking it up. Now, because I was trying to plan ahead, in the interest of time, I already added this last night. But you get the point. The next ingredient you want to add to your cooked chorizo is 3/4 cup chopped spinach. Now, you don't have to be all perfect. This is like a rough chop, just like ja. You don't really even have to chop it up if you don't want to. And if you really like your vegetables, you can put more in. I think that's a secret of a scramble, is that you can add as much vegetables as possible, because vegetables are amazing, and that's where you want to focus your carb spend on, right? Not on like Halo ice cream. Try to focus your carb spend on these healthy cruciferous vegetables, healthy low-carb vegetables that actually have fiber, like real fiber, not like the fake kind that they add to, protein powders or protein drinks or protein bars. Not the fake fiber, but the real fiber that comes from plants, because it's good for you, and it'll fill up your stomach, and it'll prevent you later from munching on other stuff. So I know vegetables may not be your favorite, That's okay. That's why I only call for a quarter, 3/4 cup. 3/4 cup, you can do it. Come on, work with me. Take a deep breath. You can do it. The best part is that guess what's going to happen when you add this to your skillet? Can you guess? What's beautiful about spinach when you cook with it? Waiting. Does anyone know? Anyone? What happens when you cook with it? Okay, I didn't see an answer, but it pretty much disappears. Seriously. I'm going to bring this over to you so you can see. So this is the chorizo that I already cooked yesterday, just because, you know. And I already added the spinach, and I already added the onion. And depending on how much fat content is in the chorizo that you chose, your brand, your store, you know, it might cook faster than others. I've made this recipe many different times. Sometimes this next step where you cook the onion and the spinach, sometimes it cooks really fast if there's a higher fat content in that chorizo. Other times not as fast. So I put in the cookbook a direction of, I think, 5 to 10 minutes, but it could even be less. So keep an eye out for that depending on your brand, right? Not all brands are the same, but that's what it'll look like. Almost looks like a ground hamburger, right? But hopefully you guys figured out that the spinach, it just disappears. You don't even see it. So you could technically add a lot of vegetables and they're just like, bloop, bloop. Who knows where they went? Good, right? I know. I also like to add a little salt and pepper at this point. I just have mine mixed here. It's an 1/8 teaspoon of salt and an 1/8 teaspoon of black pepper. And I'm going to divide this. I might put in some now. I might taste it and then add the rest as needed. Again, you do you. Boo. You don't have to do me. Chorizo is pretty salty. It can be. So I may not need all of this. But again, I like salty food. If you don't, that might be something to watch. So after we have our chorizo done, after we have our caramelized onions, we have our spinach that's disappeared. Now we're ready for the next step. It's almost time to eat. It's almost time to eat. Did you laugh? Was that funny? Come on. We want the good part, right? So I prepared 4 large beaten eggs. I have those on standby, ready to go. And what we're going to do next is we're going to remove half of the chorizo mixture. We're going to remove half from the pan and just set it aside because we're going to make it like in stages, like for one person and then the other person, because this recipe serves 2, right? And you'll see why. I mean, yes, you could just fast forward and dump it all in, but if you want to be technical and do it proper, like this is how we're going to do it. So we're going to take half the chorizo mixture, put it in the bowl. Just wing it, no measuring. Lazy keto, people. Dirty, lazy keto. No measuring. Okay, so I've got about half the mixture now that I can spread out in the pan. And next, I'm going to take my egg mixture and just pour about half in here. That's it. Just pour about half in. Don't be all perfect about it. No measuring. Just be relaxed. And I'm going to set it back over here on the stovetop. And at a low heat, we're going to finish this off. So it's been a few minutes. I had to tell you that very entertaining story. You were highly entertained. Worried, perhaps. You can see here it kind of looks like a cheeseburger gone wrong. I told you this wasn't beautiful. This is not a beautiful dish. That's the difference between an omelet and a scramble. Is I'm not trying to get beautiful points. I'm trying to get taste points. This tastes amazing. So now that we have this cooked here, I'm going to go ahead and put it on my serving plate. All right. And see, don't let me forget about this over here. It's still there, Stephanie. Don't forget. But now the last and final ingredient is a 1/2 cup cheddar cheese divided. And when you see that in a recipe, it means you're going to split it. into two different parts of the directions. So keep that in mind. So we have a half cup cheddar cheese. So this is a quarter cup, this is a quarter cup. And this is what I'm gonna put on top. And then I'll just mush it around. Okay. How does it look to you? Does that look like the best breakfast you've ever had in your entire life? Yeah, I know, right? It's outstanding. Amazing. Delicious. You're like, how can I eat this good and lose weight? It's possible. This was my ta-da. I made this one yesterday. This is when I had a little sticky note on it that said, don't touch. But it looks just the same as the one we just made now, right? So this recipe serves 2 people, like I said, and it tastes amazing, and it is on, if I may tell you one more time, page 51 of the Dirty Lazy Keto 5-ingredient cookbook, where every recipe is made with how many ingredients? How many? 5 main ingredients. 5 main ingredients. Those are like the ones you have to go to the store for. Okay? And just as a reminder, the no skill scramble recipe is 2 grams per serving, and it serves 2 people. You can remember that. And over here on the wing it recipe that we made earlier, the wing it recipe, 0 grams of net carbs per serving. All right, guys, I'm glad that you joined me for today's fun recipe. I'm going to go ahead and finish up the last part of my recipe here today. I'm going to add the final portion of my chorizo. I'm going to put my chorizo back in the bowl. I'm going to put the eggs in there. Give that approximately 2-3 minutes on low heat. You can stir it around. And then if I choose to, I can decorate it with a little salt and pepper. And I'll be topping it with the remaining amount of cheese. So I hope that you had a good time today with the cooking and the very sad, bad stories and jokes. Very bad. I'm trying. I don't think losing weight should be so complicated. It shouldn't be boring. I think we should have fun and help support one another. You know, why should this be like painful? I think losing weight and cooking and learning to cook for a lot of us, it can be a fun experience, and it doesn't have to be so risky. So if you're looking for a great cookbook to get you started and you're a beginner or you just want something easy, does that sound like you? I do recommend you start here. There are 4 cookbooks to choose from. Some of them are more complicated than others. Like the yogurt recipe that's in the Dirt Cheap cookbook. That'll be taking you all day long with your Instant Pot cooker, which is great. Don't get me wrong. But some people don't want to be cooking all day long or having too many ingredients. So this can be a great option for you to get started. And it also explains the whole keto lifestyle. Lots of great practical tips to help you in your journey, because I want to help you guys. I'm trying to figure out what obstacles you have and then trying to figure out how I can help you solve them. I just wanted to say thank you for listening. I appreciate your support. This is a community, Dirty Lazy Keto. We have to help each other. We're in this together, my friends. It's not easy, is it? We got to support one another. So if you found today's video to be helpful, please give it a thumbs up, leave a comment, and then subscribe to the Dirty Lazy Keto YouTube channel. Turn on your notifications so you'll never miss an update. You can also find me on Instagram at Dirty Lazy Keto. And for more information about any of my support groups or any of my books, you can always go to dirtylazyketo.com for more information. I'm here to support you. I'm here to help. I know you can do it.